Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go F1 for this, our recap of the Sprint Shootout for the United States Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. My name, of course, is Reese. Before we get into any of this, make sure you click subscribe and all that kind of stuff, because we'll be covering all good things Formula 1 and maybe some bad things Formula 1 this weekend. We had the qualifying reaction yesterday, but it's time for another qualifying, but this time for the sprint race, which is going to happen later on today. Sprint race starting at 11 o'clock UK time. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun one for me, because the recap will probably be around about, what, midnight? So, might be a bit tired, but we'll give it our best shot. So, time to talk a recap of Sprint Shootout, and what may be quite interesting for me here is, whilst the Sprint Shootout was on, we were hosting a small little birthday party for a 2-year-old boy. So if I missed something, it's probably because I was throwing a 2-year-old boy in the air. That's my excuse. Anyway, SQ1, and once again, the track evolution of the Circuit of the Americas is massive, but we don't even really see it in SQ1. A lot of guys saving tyres through SQ2 and SQ3. This bit of hair keeps on falling down. I push it back, it falls down. It's staying there now. It's going to live there. Anyway, so yeah, big track evolution. Cars getting faster and faster as the session goes on. At the end, yes, basically, once again, it's whoever sets their last lap. Whoever sets their lap last goes through. So the guys who are out were Sargent, Yuki, Bottas, Magnussen, and Hulkenberg. Once again, that Haas not really hooking it up in qualifying, which has been their speciality all year. They've got this brand new spec, brand new upgrade, and it's not really working for them. Maybe we'll see it's now the opposite, where they have great race pace, which obviously would be a great improvement for them. Ricciardo just getting through, beating his teammate in sprint qualifying. There's a bit of blocking, though, going on. Firstly, with Russell and Leclerc. Secondly, with Yuki and Hamilton. Now, I think they've said the one between Yuki and Hamilton, there'll be no penalty handing out there, but I don't think they've got onto Russell and Leclerc yet, which looks pretty open and shut case, really. So we'll wait and see if anything happens from there. Once again, we have a lot of people not sticking to the Delta time, but they've never ever given out a penalty for that, so why not just ignore it all the time? That's what I say. Into SQ2, and a lot of guys now just setting one lap time only, trying to save as many of those medium tyres as we can. Max has a big spin. Luckily, he did set 2 lap times, because his second one was nowhere near good enough as he hit the curb and spun off. The guys being knocked out, though, is Zhou in 15th, Lance Stroll, who makes it through to Q2 for the first time in over a month, Ocon in 13th, Alonso in 12th, the Aston looking much better than it did yesterday, still not fantastic, and still not to their kind of what they would expect. I mean, Alonso being the guy who got into Q3 of every race so far this year, being knocked out in Q1 and Q2 this weekend. Ricciardo, though, he was also knocked out in P11, just being knocked out, but still quite an impressive qualifying for Daniel Ricciardo on his return there. Let's hope he can have a good performance in the race. Into SQ3, though, and it's one lap for everyone. They're on the soft tyres. They don't want to be running 2 sets of those soft tyres. They want to save them. So one lap for everyone, and the top 10 actually is exactly the same as the top 10 yesterday, apart from one. Ocon is out. Albon is in. Apart from that, those 9 guys were 9 of the 10 yesterday. So, very close, but very consistent for those 9 people. At the end of SQ3, though, it is Gasly in 10th, then Albon in 9th, Russell is 8th, not a great result for Russell there at all, Perez is 7th, still not great for Perez, Sainz 6th, Piastri 5th, Norris 4th, Hamilton 3rd, Leclerc 2nd, Max Verstappen back on top in P1, but it was, as I said, very close. 0.069 between the top 3 and 0.101 between the top 4. So really, really close stuff. Then, just as we look down the grid, there's little spaces where it's close as well. The gap between Piastri and Sainz was 0.045. It looks like the Ferrari lads, the McLarens, Verstappen and Hamilton are all incredibly close, especially on one lap pace as we go around this track. We'll have to wait and see what they are in terms of race pace going here, because as much as I don't think the Mercedes is as quick as the Ferrari, I do think that Lewis Hamilton really is very good around this track. So I think that's when you see the driver make the difference. And we could see Lewis ending up beating Leclerc later on this evening. We'll have to wait and see. So there you go. That is our sprint shootout recap. Not a lot going on. Not much big drama here. But setting up for a very fun race this afternoon. And of course, once the race is over, I'll be here to talk through all of it. Until then, though, have a good one. Goodbye.